Do you remember a long time ago when I showed you this? Again, this is Vampirella, okay? Absolutely love it. And yes, I do have the statue with it, and I'll be busting that out one day, doing a review on it. Well, yeah, now we got the statue that goes along with it. Stay tuned.
Just before you left your side, nobody ever goes in, and nobody ever comes out.
Welcome back, fellow collectors, and thank you for tuning in. Now, real quick, in case you don't know by now, Artgerm is one of my favorite comic book artists. And there was a time when him and Sideshow collaborated to make tons of statues. Some that come to mind are Power Girl, Black Canary, Huntress, the list goes on and on. The cool thing about during that time was all of the statues were all derived from artwork directly from Artgerm. So not only could you get the statue, but you can also get the artwork that was inspired to make the statue. As you know, I was able to get the art print for Vampirella, and I was on the hunt for the statue itself. But you know me, I'm not gonna overpay for anything. So when I found this one, the exclusive nonetheless, for a reasonable price, I had to pick it up. And this may be me being biased, but I gotta say, my opinion right off the bat, this is probably the best Vampirella statue out there right now. And actually, I'm still on the fence about getting the other Artgerm statues, but we'll see what happens. But enough of that, let's get to the review. Now, the first thing I gotta say about this statue is that this statue embodies what less is more should be. As we can see immediately, it's a pretty simple statue, but yet it is awesome, and the execution is badass. Now, the bottom of the base looks like a chalice, the bottom of a cup actually. We can see skulls surrounding the bottom of it, highly detailed, very textured, and very realistic. It kind of goes up, and like I mentioned before, it looks kind of like the bottom of a chalice where you could just pick this thing up, drink from it. But no, the base goes up to this graveyard scene. And what I really like about this graveyard scene, it actually looks as though somebody just pulled earth straight out of the ground and placed it on this base right here. And what I mean by that, we can see in the bottom, there's roots there going all around the statue. And it goes up right here with the roots on the bottom, yes, and then they come up right here, the trunk of a tree wrapping around this headstone. There's actually two headstones, this one with the tree wrapping around and this one where it's more of a flat headstone. So we have the headstone and the cross headstone. Both of them have a lot of weeds, a lot of vines. More so the flat headstone has the weeds and the vines, and the cross headstone has the trunk of the tree wrapping around it. Everything about it, both the headstones, highly detailed, lots of texture work. Obviously they're gray, so there aren't gonna be too many color variations in there, but it's still well done. The vegetation here, the tree, the trunks, the weed, etc. Also highly detailed, lots of texture work here to really make it look more realistic as though it is a trunk of a tree. The weeds here have all these little details with the leaves sticking out. Now I will say this, kind of worrisome, but they are flexible, but you can still see that they're very fragile. Nonetheless, it's still well done, and I appreciate that attention to detail, going that extra mile. And she is standing on the dirt base here, so we do see a little bit of dirt, moss, things of that nature. And we do see a random skull here just placed on its side, so not really know if that's supposed to be somebody she killed, a victim of her, something of that nature, or if it's just an abandoned cemetery where skulls are already uprooting from their headstones, from their graves actually. So the pose for Vampirella, not really much to say. As you know, it's derived from the artwork from Artgerm. Pretty much is making his 2D artwork into a 3D statue. Now, one of the coolest thing about statues done from Artgerm, as you can see in his artwork, he does give them that semi-realistic look, which is translated very well into this Vampirella statue. Going from the bottom up, she's wearing her latex thigh-high boots and lots of different color variations in here. Yes, they are that glossy, shiny, vinyl, leather, black look, but at the same time, we can see texture work, folds here in the back of the boots, different coloring, blacks, grays, blues, and variations of those colors in between to give that more realistic look. The paint on her flesh tones the same way. So what I mean by that is, yes, she does have her flesh tones, but at the same time we can see different shades of different colors, darkers, lighters, etc., to really make it bring out, especially around, you know, the definition, ab definition, muscle texture, things like that, to really give her that tone look. Now her outfit here, or I should say her lack thereof, it is the only thing here that is mixed media, and it's a high, shiny, glossy vinyl red with the Vampirella symbol right there on her crotch. Now don't get it mistaken, the collar on here, it is not mixed media, it's actually sculpted as well. But that collar, because we want to make it realistic to match the vinyl right here on her outfit, yes, it also has different color shadings, variants, things of that nature to give it that more realistic look and to match the rest of the statue here, her clothing, or lack thereof. Now this is the exclusive, and for me personally, it was exclusive or no-go. And the exclusive is very simple. It's just this bat right here. Just a quick comparison. Here's the exclusive, the bat. And the collector or the non-exclusive. Same thing, it's the exact same thing minus the bat. Just realizing it now, without the bat, her fingernails on that arm really stand out. Now, I didn't see that initially, but seeing it now, I can definitely appreciate that. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be displaying it like this. Because like I said, to me, it was an exclusive or bust. And of course, the bat itself is very detailed, has a lot of texture work. The wingspan, you can see little veins, the fur on him, all the different color variations, the brown, lighter browns, blacks, things like that. And finishing off with her portrait, what I really love about this Vampirella statue, like I said, is derived from the artwork of Artgerm. So her hair is just flowing in the wind, just flying back. The hair itself doesn't just have black, grays, different tones. No, it actually has a little bit of blues, a little bit of greens to really match that artwork, the art print that it was derived from. And I can appreciate that a lot. We can see all the strands of hair, the tips right here flowing in different directions, different color variations. Right here we have one of her bangs kind of flying backwards. Now Sideshow did take liberty with the portrait itself. As we can see with the artwork from Artgerm, she doesn't really have makeup, or I should say eyeshadow, all that much. Right here, they went ahead and put the eyeshadow in there, put some lipstick on her to really make her eyes pop out. And I think that was a well executed plan. And one other small detail I forgot to mention, her earring. Very small detail, but they're very cool. They're gold earrings, kind of to contrast that whole black and red and everything, because other than the symbol right here on her outfit, that's the only other gold on her. And like I mentioned before, excellent thing to really kind of draw your eye away from everything, to really make everything contrast against each other. But overall, I'm very glad I finally picked up this statue. When I first saw it, I knew that I wanted to eventually get it, but I had to wait a long time to find one that was at a decent price. But of course, I have to admit, this was definitely one I wanted to reserve for the gathering here, and I'm so glad that I did. And I think she holds up after all of this time. As I mentioned before, maybe it's me being biased, but I think it's the best Vampirella statue out there today. But hey, that's just me. I wanna know what you guys think. But if you enjoyed this video, definitely give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it helps me out tremendously. And as always, collect what makes you happy.